welcome to the show that the NFL tried to shut down. We will have the latest Raiders news.
Yes.
Yep. We'll have, this includes the approval of the lease agreement that was signed off by the league this week. News about the Golden Knights and that big TV deal that they signed this week with Root Sports. We'll get into that later on. Also, the College of Southern Nevada, CSN. Bryce Harper tweeted them out, right? The Coyotes as they head to the National Junior College World Series. Rick Strasser, who's on assignment tonight, that's what we like to say when somebody's out, has an interview that he recorded right before Nick Garitano, the head coach.
He filed a report, I believe is what we would say.
We have something in the can.
Okay.
Is that what you guys say in TV land?
Yeah, in the can.
Okay.
Sure, that works.
So we'll go with that. And then UNLV, we've got a lot of news to share as well. The golf team will start at the National Championships come tomorrow. What's the tee time? 122?
122, I believe is what it was.
And the Rebels are the 12th seed. We'll be talking a lot about that. Our special guest tonight, Jody Neiman, the general manager of the Royal Links Golf Club here in Las Vegas, and the first woman general manager at a major golf course here in Southern Nevada. And then we'll also have that interview that is in the can. So let's start talking about the Raiders first. And
Wait, we're not going to start with knighthood?
No, we'll get into the knighthood later. And I'm going to work on a nice graphics package, and we're going to have a nice,
do that.
a nice
Tony
segment.
really wants to make that happen.
Knighthood.
Yeah, it's got to happen, right? Memorial Day weekend in Las Vegas, and every year NFL players either go to Miami or they come to Las Vegas. But now there's like heightened awareness here in Vegas where, the NFL is paying a lot of attention to our city. We saw what happened back in April where 30 NFL players were fined for participating in an arm wrestling championship over at the MGM Grand, not for getting involved in the actual event, but because they have a gaming clause that the players have to abide by. So my question to the panel today, just to start things off, do these players still come here with the risk of being fined? Do they have to notify the league office? And we have a picture of Odell Beckham and his whole crew like partying. There they go. This is from last year.
That's going to be at Republic this weekend, I think. That's what it looks like.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what happens now when the league finds photos like this on TMZ, like the one I heisted here?
Well, we've been talking about this, seemingly for weeks, right? Those photos are going to start coming out, right? And they've always been coming out. The problem is that the NFL hasn't really said anything or done anything. They've only doled out fines, right, Tony? Mm-hmm. So there hasn't been thankfully, I guess, for the players, there hasn't been anything serious involving them lately. It was Javon Walker, right? We were bringing up him getting mugged or robbed. That was 6 or 7 years ago. That was a minute ago. Since then, I can't think of any major incidents involving any NFL players. But, how long do we need to wait, NFL? You've announced the team. The lease agreement has been signed. When are you going to have some sort of, rules and regulation, I guess, for the players that they're coming to Vegas? Because now there's going to be a lot more of them, if there wasn't enough already.
Well, shouldn't it now be the softest stance that the NFL has ever had as far as Vegas is concerned? How is now coming to Vegas any different than going to Miami, going to New York, going to LA, going to any other major NFL city? Vegas is now a major NFL city. So coming here, really, pending getting in trouble, which you can get into trouble anywhere, there shouldn't be a problem with them coming into Vegas.
So why did the NFL take down our program last week? That's what we're trying to figure out.
This is a hot button topic now. Again, for our thousands of viewers out there, we were talking Raiders. We were showing the stadium, right? We had stadium animation. Apparently, at some point, Snap copyright infringement we get slapped with from the NFL, right? And we don't want to irk the NFL, of course, but TV guy knows what he's doing. We know what we can show, what we can't show, and it was a false claim. So we got fired up over it after the show. We gave credit to the video that we used, and we filed a claim, and
we're back on the air.
We won.
Yeah, we beat the NFL.
So you're watching a show that beat the NFL, just so you guys know.
Had we prepped for tonight's show adequately, we would have done a touchdown celebration dance.
It is monumentous. I say
mean,
before
it
the
should
show,
be
they
all
would have
over the place.
If you would have brought the football, we could have done like one of the new celebrations without
This is like
getting
Tark
flagged.
v. NCAA. I mean, it really is. It's
Firework
a
animation,
monumentous victory.
the whole thing.
This is a show that the NFL approves of.
So the big news this week out of Raiderland, the NFL, the Raider Nation, NFL signs off on the lease agreement, and that, Mark Davis said, it was the first down and a 4-down process. But that was really a fait accompli, right? We knew that this was going to
Sure.
happen. No discussion when they got there. Everything was really buttoned up. Again, kudos to the stadium committee.
The interesting part is, and absolutely, on all parts, Vegas got it done, Nevada got it done, a lot of people got it done. But then I'm reading in the Mercury News, right, where the Raiders still, right after the vote goes through, they're pleading with their fans saying, hey, we want to stay here. So what is it? I get they're committed to Las Vegas in one sense, and I get that, they owe the community of Oakland. But you can't expect Oakland to stick with this team now at this point. Now they know there is no glimmer of hope for them. Everything's moving forward. The lease agreement's been signed. We're collecting the tax revenue, and yet the Mark Davis is saying, hey, stick with us and keep on coming to our games. I think it's a little wrong for them to expect fans to be excited about a team that they know is leaving.
Well, it doesn't matter if they expect it or not. You have to put that face on and make everybody assume that you're playing nice and you expect the fans to be there and everybody's going to be happy. Because if you go in the opposite direction and you basically shun the fans and go, we really don't care if you show up, then they're not going to show up. And they still have a business to run. They still have to generate some sort of revenue for the next 2-3 years, whatever it's going to be that they're going to be in Oakland. And they also have a competitive team. They have a team that's going to be a Super Bowl contender this year. You can't trot that team out onto the field and have a quote-unquote home field advantage that consists of 20,000 fans out there. You've got to generate the buzz and keep fans interested as much as possible.
Well, the
and
fans
sell out
are
that
very
Coliseum.
interested. It's just the second time in 22 years that all the tickets are gone. They've sold out. Complete sellout, 53,000
With a
plus,
waiting list.
With a waiting list. So that's good momentum, though, heading into Las Vegas as well, right?
Oh, because the fans are going to show up here as well. And we've been over this. It's not going to be the road fan base sellout that everybody thinks it's going to be. Raider fans travel as well, if not better than anybody, and they're going to be traveling now to a home venue versus a road venue like San Diego. So it'll be fine. The stadium's going to sell out with silver and black predominantly.
Can I mention this before you get to your next point?
Can you say hashtag fading Vegas? I read the story.
Yeah,
too.
right, exactly.
Yeah, the Deadspin?
Deadspin, Raiders robbed Las Vegas in America's worst stadium deal, right? And again, I've always been a little bit of devil's advocate on this show. In one sense, it is true. I mean, we are getting the largest public subsidy of any stadium ever. But I actually like the last line of this piece. There's going to be worse stadium deals out there. Las Vegas is just the latest, I guess, of what's going to come down the pipeline. But, the first fact they pointed out they got wrong already, saying that the county was paying for it or that the locals were paying for it, which is completely incorrect. And so we've mentioned it so many times, people don't get our community, and here's just an erroneous fact they throw out there where they don't point out that the money is coming from tourists. They just say it's public money from Las Vegas and we're taking a big risk. And I get that side, and I get if we hit a recession, it could be a little dicey making these payments. But it's just comical when they put out facts that just aren't correct.
Facts.
They should just call they should call the stadium the Las Vegas Raiders Convention Center, because that's what it is, right? It's more convention space.
Not only that, if that's what it was titled and nobody heard the word Raider or the word stadium or the word Davis, nobody would have a problem. Because this, again, and this is the debate we get into a lot of times with people, is this is an already existing tax that didn't start where it was at and go from there to this 0.88 increase. This was an already existing tax that has been raised several times over the years, over the course of its existence, and nobody said a word about it because it's raised for things that aren't all over mainstream media like the NFL and the Raiders. But now that you attach it to the billionaires and the stadium and sports and all of that, people lose their mind over what is actually going on. And the fact of the matter is, Las Vegas public is not paying for it. It is a public tax, but it is a tourism tax.
Here's the sentence. Nevada taxpayers will be shelling out for nearly half the project. Incorrect.
Correct. Yeah, that's not correct.
I stayed at the Palms for a staycation for my anniversary with my wife.
Oh, happy anniversary.
So you did contribute.
I paid
Thank
$3.
you. Yeah.
I paid $3 towards the stadium.
Well,
so
we
sure,
appreciate it.
I guess I did.
And that's the only time that anybody locally is
Right.
going to have to shell out any money, is if
Yeah.
you decide staycation. You want to go get away from your everyday life and stay on the Strip and enjoy what Vegas has to offer. Okay, you shell out a few dollars for it. But beyond that, this isn't coming out of our regular taxes.
We thought that Super Bowl LV could.
Yeah.
There was a chance.
I thought
it
we
could
were
wind
all
up
over
here
that,
in the Las
man.
Vegas area. Instead, Tampa gets the bid for 2020. I feel like we got jobbed a little bit by the NFL.
Yeah, well, yes, but logic doesn't prevail a lot with the NFL, right? I mean, you're talking about
You're talking about an
32
entity that took down our
yeah,
show.
but
There is no logic.
32 owners, right? I mean, there's a queue, there's a line. People want the Super Bowl, right? So I guess you don't want to make the Tampa Bay owner, whoever he is, I can't remember his name off the top of my
The
head.
descending vote.
Yeah. You don't want, I guess, to piss him off, for lack of a better
it's
way
more.
to put it,
It
right?
was
No, it's
Miami.
Miami.
Same
yeah.
state.
Florida, it's all the same, right? There's a waiting list, so I get it, but it would have been nice if money didn't seem to be coming to the forefront.
I would have
of it.
liked had they actually even put it on the table. At least discuss
Yeah.
it. Hey,
Yeah,
Vegas
sure.
is going to
They
be
could have
ready.
done
The symmetry is beautiful. I mean, Super Bowl 55, LV, Las Vegas. You can't beat that. At least put it on the table and make it a discussion. But they just went with the default.
Maybe Mark
runner-up.
whispered it, and they were like, "Keep your mouth shut. You got
Well,
the team."
and
Maybe, yeah.
well, yeah, and
Good
then
enough for right
you
now.
robbed
Yeah.
the city of Las Vegas and got this stadium.
Yeah.
By 2025, though, now Mark Bedane, the president of the Raiders, says that a Super Bowl will definitely be in the works for here. So
Yeah.
thir really
It's
working
coming,
hard.
and we
to
knew it was
It's
coming.
coming.
It's gonna. Vegas will be in the normal rotation, along with LA, along with the Florida stadiums. If they want to go back to the cold weather, like Detroit and those, on kind of the offshoot style stadiums, but for the most part, will be in that normal rotation.
Did you see your boy Marshawn Lynch? He went on a bicycle
I
ride.
saw the bike ride.
And he tweeted it out. Social media said that he was going to get on a bike, drive through Oakland.
He didn't really ride.
He rode. He rode on his bicycle.
No,
Yeah.
no,
he showed up late.
well,
45 minutes
Okay,
late,
and
then
he was
about
holding onto a
1,000.
van.
Well,
Did
about
you
1,000
see that?
fans showed up. I didn't see that.
That's
He didn't
cool.
want to tear a quad, man.
Well,
He's getting ready for camp.
It's a
here.
one-speed bike. Give me a break.
Yeah.
See, he was holding on to
It was
a
an uphill
van.
course. It was
Yeah,
an uphill course.
He wasn't even biking, but it's still cool nonetheless.
Yeah, a bunch of hundreds out there to follow
Yeah.
him around.
They said about 1,000, and then Calvin Johnson
Yeah, this
shows
is
up at
cool.
OTAs. Is he going to
So-
sign with the team?
Man, I hope so. Throw a third rounder at Detroit and see if it sticks. Todd Downing, from what I hear, is the one who invited him out there. The now offensive coordinator of the Raiders invited him out, and he's kind of out there as more of a mentor style role. I heard Amari Cooper talking about it the other day, and first thing he realized was how big he was. He said he realized where he got the name Megatron from. He's a huge receiver.
Yeah.
But really, teaching Amari how to get in and out of certain routes and out of his breaks, and just working with the young wide receiver core, because with the exception of Crabtree, this is a pretty young wide receiver core. So it's nice to get another veteran out there and at least show them some
You
things.
think he's healthy?
I mean, relatively speaking,
just-
I would
I-
assume he hasn't played
I'm just curious.
over a
31 years
year.
old. I mean, still a few,
But he also
miles
mentioned,
left on
remember
those
the
tires.
concussion thing? He mentioned
Yeah.
how many concussions he hid from Detroit. So if that's the issue, if that's his concern, that's a lot more than just I have knee problems or back problems. You don't want to start playing games when you've had head injuries that you've had to hide from people, and if you're susceptible to that sort of thing, you know how concussions
come
work.
back
Once
for
you
one
get one,
season then.
you
Well,
get
no.
more. No, don't
Sorry, I'm
don't
not
get me
making-
wrong.
I'm not making light of that.
I would
in any
absolutely
sense.
love to see
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson in the silver and black. I think he would be a huge addition to that already pretty potent offense, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right, that's enough Raiders news for tonight's show. So Matt can leave because he's talked about his team, his favorite team. Just kidding, Matt. You're the best. And Jody Neiman is here joining us now, the general manager over at Royal Links Golf Club
Jody,
here.
thanks for being patient. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. I'm sure you enjoyed our
We
Raiders
didn't
talk.
expect to have an hour-long
Huge-
Raiders
huge
special.
Raider fan. She's a huge Raiders fan.
Huge
She told
Raiders
us
fan.
earlier.
Jody is the only woman general manager at a major golf course here in Southern Nevada. What does that feel like?
Weird. It's 2017.
Right.
Never thought anything like that would be
An issue, right?
an issue
Yeah.
or be brought up or be a thing. I mean, it's I just didn't think that in 2017 it would be that way.
But how is the sport changing, Jody? I mean, we see, especially that there's a youth movement. I mean, Tiger Woods changed a lot of things. So how is golf different today as far as the dynamic and the people playing golf versus, 10, 15 years ago? Is it changing?
It is changing. That you have a lot more women that are coming into the game now that before were not coming into the game. They were not playing. It was very few and far between that you would see females playing. A lot of girls on golf teams in high school were playing on the men's team because there wasn't females to play. Now you have females that are playing in high school, and that you have those teams available. A lot of the scholarships are becoming more far and few between now for women. It used to be so many scholarships out there available for women in golf, and now it's becoming very competitive.
Yeah.
So it is changing in the shape for women, and it's fun to see. It's really exciting.
Well, one of the things, sorry if I'm interrupting
No,
you guys,
go right
but
ahead.
that's what I do. One of the reasons
warned you.
we wanted to bring you down, obviously, we want to touch
Was
on
to ask
UNLV
for
golf.
golf.
Well, yeah,
Was-
that too.
was to ask
Should
if
we
you
ask
guys
her
could
on
golf.
camera and
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
hey, are we going to play at
Yeah,
Royal
we're
Links?
gonna play there next week.
No,
We'll have it on
7
film.
a.m.
spare
on
her
Sunday.
for now.
Yeah.
No, UNLV golf. Obviously, the NCAA championship begins tomorrow. Coach Knight and his boys are there. And first, I guess, talk about your interaction with Coach Knight. I know the players have come out and they've played a little bit.
They
at Royal
have.
Links.
The team has been out on numerous occasions. It's fun to see them out there. I think Royal Links brings a totally different feel for what they normally practice and normally play. We have the deep pop bunkers. It's a link style course, so it's completely different than anything that you'll see here in Las Vegas. And I think that just gives them it's fun for them because it's totally different. It makes them work their game a little bit differently than what they're used to. You're having to be more creative. When you get yourself into trouble, you've got to find a way out and find a way to advance the ball, in which, other golf courses, desert golf courses, it's a little different. So
Yeah.
it's definitely fun to have them out there. And Coach Knight and I go way back. When I was back in college and came out here to work with my
At
godfather.
ASU.
I was at ASU. Arizona
won the
State.
national
What is it?
championship.
What did Forkham? I don't
And
know.
Yeah,
Something,
yeah.
Forkham, yeah.
But she's
Something with
she's
your
also
hands. I don't
won.
wanna do
She's
anything
also won 2
inappropriate.
national championships, guys.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
So that's 2 more
Awesome.
than all
Give
of
us a real
combined.
That's
quick,
right.
for those that don't know, real quick background on your golf experience.
Quick background. Played at Arizona State, 2 NCAA championships, public links champion, and coached Division I collegiate golf for about 8 years. And then I've been in the golf industry as far as operationally managing golf courses and doing sales for the past 6-ish, 7-ish.
Pretty good
So-
short.
7-ish.
short
I'm going to
version.
go to the
That's a good
7-ish.
short version.
So
of the
legit
resume.
credentials for
Yeah.
when we go forward in a minute with the video, so that everybody understands
Yeah, good
what's
call.
going on here. Yeah, no, awesome credentials, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you.
I wanted
So-
to ask you about UNLV too, because they're playing on a long course, 7,000 plus yards, I think I read. And last week at the regional, they played on a long course too. Does this give them any sort of an advantage that they've already played on a longer course? Or what do they have going in their favor heading in?
Well, it's truly, as golf is normally, it's truly going to come down to short game. Long, short, truly doesn't matter. It's about getting the golf ball in the hole. And all the players nowadays hit it far. They all hit it long. They all hit it deep. They're all very accurate at the long game. It comes down to the short game. How can you get the ball in the hole quickly and at fewer strokes than the other team? So as much as everybody talks about the course being long and or a course being short and how it affects them, it's truly going to come down to a short game. And how much do you spend time practicing your short game? That's truly what it comes down to. And a lot of your college teams now spend more time on the short game.
You may have just answered it, but you've won 2 of them.
Right.
What else does it take to win an NCAA title?
It's team. It's your camaraderie within the team is good. You're always going to have that. Golf is an individual sport, so no matter what, you're going to have that. I want to win on an individual basis, but you also have to be very supportive amongst your team. And some of your players on the team get very nervous and have a hard time not showing it, while others, they are nervous on the inside, but they know how to cover it up pretty good.
Yeah, and
So it's being there for the team, and the coaches play a big role in that, because you have to be a motivator, but you have to be a motivator in a way that is not going to make them even more nervous before stepping out of the van or stepping onto the tee box, and being able to comfort them to get all the butterflies going in the same direction. So focus.
Well-
He's awesome. He's a good motivator, and it's not like come on, we gotta, get out there and go. And there's just none of it's very calm and it's very sweet and he's very mellow and
Yeah,
but
it's
he's
amazing.
very good at what he
Hopefully
does.
they win and we can get him back on the show. Talking about UNLV specifically, right? Their top three are their guys: Harry Hall, Shintaro Bond, and John Oda. But how critical are spots 4 and 5? And you were alluding to it there. If those two don't play, if the bottom of your rotation doesn't play, you don't have any shots. So it seems like these guys will probably be feeling more pressure than anybody.
Yeah, and the crucial part of that is your 4 and 5 are going out first. So your 4 and 5 go out first, and if they're not doing well, that even puts more pressure on the 1, 2, and 3. So it's really where the coaches kind of focus on that 4 and 5 to get a good start, get a good rhythm, and get out of the box at a good rate and in a good way, because then that kind of funnels down to the other players. So.
Let's talk about the golf course and just what you have going on. I know something big for the military coming up next Monday,
Yeah.
but I'm put the marketing hat
Yes,
on.
do that.
Also, you dare to be different from a lot of the other courses because golf in this town especially, very competitive. So what are you doing differently?
Truthfully, I don't want to be known as just a golf course. Royal Links Golf Club is unique in and of itself. It's the only clubhouse that you're going to see that has a castle. When the gate opens and you come into the facility, you see a castle. You feel like you're in Scotland. You truly do. And I don't want to be competitive with the other golf courses in a sense. I want to be competitive within Las Vegas as a whole. So I want to welcome events that are non-traditional. So as much as I want to honor the tradition of golf, I want to welcome non-traditional events, and have events out there like Beer Fest. We drive-in movie night out on the range, and we use the the golf carts as our drive-in vehicle.
Yeah.
Just having networking events that we can have out there. We had an event out there, 350 people.
That was fun.
It was awesome. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I have because of where I sit amongst the radius of Nellis and the radius of McCarran, we have some drone companies that want to come out and do drone events out at the golf course. I want to be different. I want to be unique.
Well, speaking of different, we're running it right now. Now you're saying it.
Okay.
Explain what this is. And Rich Giacovino, he threw it up for us. Go ahead, loop it again if it ends. But what are we watching here? Because, the story, the way you tell it, is better than anything we could set up for you.
I tend to be challenged once in a while, and I don't really ever take a step back from a challenge. So on occasion, I will be challenged by men to a long drive contest. It's become now something that I'm known for here in Vegas, where I wear high heels and I do a long drive contest against the men. And the only rule is that the ball has to stay in the fairway. That's the only rule. So usually they let me go first, and they're not expecting me to hit the ball very far.
Again,
Nonetheless,
those are legit heels.
And you get in heels, yeah.
nonetheless, being in heels, and I hit the ball about 260 in high heels.
That's
So-
the biggest driver, too, we've ever seen.
So
Is that
they
legal?
don't know what's.
And you're usually hitting with their clubs, right?
I hit with their
Yeah.
driver.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Grab a golf
Which
ball
just
from them, a golf tee from
rubs
them.
and
salt
you're
in the
hitting
wound
cold, is
for
what you're
them.
saying.
And yeah, I usually am walking right out there and hitting at the time that we're having a competition.
You've won
Yes.
a few dollars this way.
And you got a high
Yeah,
five,
a
too.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the money going to charity? Did I see something like that?
Yes.
That's what you do with
yes.
it. Yeah, that's
the money
awesome.
goes to charity. I do it for charity events most of the time now,
Mm-hmm.
and the money does go to charity. We usually raise around $2,500 in a day.
I got to tell you guys.
awesome.
I got to tell you guys, this video had thousands and thousands of hits on YouTube.
I know it
So-
was crazy.
so-
It was
wait.
amazing, and Golf Channel even contacted you
Yes.
to do this on Golf Channel.
On Morning Drive, they were looking to do a competition with our Golf Now rep here in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
along with some other gentlemen, and I want to do it, and I plan on doing it, but I got to get my shoulder back in shape.
Yeah.
I-
Right, with the bum shoulder too. But what would you say your all-time record is? When you take on the men, is it like 105 or something?
She's like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, Is it you're playing the generals?
yeah, it's funny. It just kind of depends on what it is, but I mean, for the most part, it's You know,
So you're
I-
saying on
I-
one hand you can count the number of times
yeah,
you've lost.
correct.
Yes,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now, we talked about it a little bit earlier before we came on the air. Things that you do to get women involved in the sport, and your Saturday mornings seem to be getting a little busier. Can you talk
Yes.
about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Every Saturday, I do morning lessons for females, and they're free clinics. I started with a 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and then and I really had like maybe 4 to 6 women that were showing up. Now I've got anywhere from 8 to 12 ladies per hour. But now I have an 8 o'clock, a 9 o'clock, a 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. So every Saturday, I welcome my ladies to come out and have a free clinic with me. And then, and at the same time, I get questions like, "Hey, can I bring my son? Can I bring my daughter? Hey, my husband would like to come out." So it's become a family affair.
That's awesome. Obviously I have a wife. I have a daughter, a very competitive daughter at that. But I love when I can see, or when I do see women that just take the initiative and get more involved and get rid of that stigma. Like you talked about it, it's 2017, and it doesn't make sense that we're even talking about the fact that you're the only female GM in the city. It should just be commonplace at this point that those kinds of things are
Correct.
happening, and I really enjoy seeing those types of things.
Yeah, it's been fun, and at the same time, it's definitely challenging. But I love seeing the ladies out there. We did a promotion for Mother's Day where we did from one mom to another free round of golf, and it was awesome to see the ladies come out and be out there and playing. Just because they saw it on our social sites and they come out and to be out there, it warms my heart. It just makes me so happy.
And then for the military on Monday, it's $49 per round.
We have a hero membership card that we're giving out. So normally it's a $99 annual fee. We're comping the annual fee completely. And then they'll have a $49 rate year round, no matter what month,
great.
what time
That's
of
great.
day, no questions, it's $49.
Yeah, and then for Father's Day, are you still doing that promotion where you have, you could either get a shot, like a shot of liquor,
shot.
or you can utilize
Or you
like a
can
gun
have a
that
shot.
shoots the golf ball about how far?
So we are the only golf course in Las Vegas that has a golf ball gun. And
This is
I didn't
how
know
come
that
you
was a
got it on
thing.
the show sooner. That's what I want to know.
Should have brought it
Keeping
with
it
me.
away because
That's
I didn't want you
awesome.
guys to beg for free golf.
Yeah,
and
No, just kidding.
it's hooked up to a compressor, and you shoot your golf ball 400 plus yards. So depending on how much PSI you put into the gun, depends on how far it's going to shoot. So we do have the golf ball gun that we
That's
are going
awesome.
to debut on Father's Day.
Oh, we're debuting
Wow.
it on Father's Day. That's cool.
yeah.
So that,
Will you be out driving the gun?
No,
How far does it go again? And then
400 plus
400.
yards.
I hope Tom Brady doesn't get a hold of that PSI in the gun.
yeah.
Oh, here we go. Deflate gate.
Heyo.
So hopefully everything goes well with UNLV Golf. And Jody, thank you so much for stopping by. And
Thank you.
congratulations
That's great.
again to
Had a lot of fun.
ASU,
Thank
Forks
you.
Up,
Yeah.
and get more people to go out there. Oh, your website, phone number, for
Yeah,
tea times, reservations.
Phone number is 702-765-0484. And the website is Royal Links Golf Club, all spelled out.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Absolutely.
ton.
Thank
you.
You'll see Matt this
Well,
Saturday.
no,
You'll
probably every
probably see
Saturday.
my wife for
Probably
sure
every
this Saturday.
We'll
Yeah.
be stalking the
She'll be
course
out
for
there.
free golf now.
I want to just shoot that gun.
Yeah, this is true.
So let's shift gears and start talking about another team that's playing in the postseason here from Southern Nevada. That's the College of Southern Nevada. The Coyotes are in the Junior College Baseball World Series in Grand Junction, Colorado.
First game Saturday,
Okay.
11 a.m.
And I think you're really good at doing this because you're the TV
Yeah,
guy.
you want- okay.
Are you going to cue this?
Here we go.
Is that what you
So-
call it? You're going to cue this to
Yes,
video?
we're going to toss to
Toss
the
it,
video,
okay.
but hold on. So first trip to the Junior College World Series since Bryce Harper led the team to Junior College World Series.
Speaking
That was in
of-
2010. Okay. Oh, there's the
There's-
tweet. Congrats and good luck to the CSN Coyotes baseball team on getting back to Grand Junction. Get you a title, boys. Hashtag Yotes. Hashtag JCWS. So,
Hashtag I'm never going to be seen in Grand Junction.
here comes the toss. Rick Strasser, on assignment this week, filed this report in the can for us right now.
The eyes of baseball world here in Southern Nevada are back on CSN because the Coyotes are heading back to the JUCO World Series. They went there in 2003 and won the whole thing, went back in 2010
Okay,
behind
we're
Bryce
good.
Harper,
Awesome.
and are headed back once again this weekend. Our guest right now is Nick Garitano. And Coach, talk about the excitement of heading back to the World Series again. And I know it was quite a bumpy road to get there.
Oh, it was bumpy, and you got it. I mean, I've got goosebumps on my arms just talking about it. And we took the, as I like to call it, the high blood pressure route. You know, we lost our first round game in the Region 18 tournament right here. We won the league. We dominated the league all year, and we opened up with Colorado Northwestern, and they thumped us. I mean, they just smoked us 17-3, 17-4. And we had to win a doubleheader Friday, doubleheader Saturday against Salt Lake Community College to advance to the Western District Tournament, which was down in Yuma, Arizona last week, where we opened up with Central Arizona College, and they thumped us 15-5. Again, our backs were against the wall. We wound up winning a 1-0 game over Trinidad State. Then we wound up winning a 6-4 game against host Arizona Western College. And then on Saturday, we had the task of trying to defeat Central Arizona, who just beat us 15-5 on Thursday. We had to try and beat them twice on that Saturday, and sure enough, we won 15-6, and then we wound up winning the championship game 8-5. So it's been a heck of a ride for us. It's the character, the will, the fight, anything that you could say. I mean, it's just an unbelievable run that these kids have made.
Now, you never want to say that losses are a good thing, but talk about what this means to these boys. You talked about character, what it means to come back through adversity. I mean, these are things you want in your athletes. They showed that quite a bit, and heading into the World Series, how's that going to benefit them?
You know, the one thing about this group is when they get punched, they get right back up. You know, we've been in a situation where we've lost the first game, and we haven't just lost, Rick. We've gotten beat up the first game, and if you could say that in baseball. And they never blinked an eye. You know, they just kept going forward. And our motto is one inning at a time, just one more game. And you know, if you're there at the end of the tournament and you win it, then you keep moving on. And this week, I can tell you that we've talked to the kids today about this not the road that we want to take in Grand Junction. It is a 10-team tournament. It's not a 4-team tournament. It's a 10-team tournament. If you fall into that loser's bracket after day one, you've got 7 games you need to win in 8 days. So I'm not sure if there's a junior college that has that much pitching to get through that. So we're going to do everything we can to win game 1. And our goal is to stay there as long as we can. Where the chips fall, they fall at the end of the tournament. We're not going to set up a rotation for anything. We're literally going to go pitch by pitch, inning by inning, game by game. Whatever we have available, the next guy up is sort of another motto of ours, and that's exactly what we're planning on doing.
I know you've probably looked at the field quite a bit in the last couple of days since you guys qualified for the JUCO World Series, but who would you say is the team or a couple of the teams to beat, besides yourselves, of course?
Well, I'll tell you what, we were looking at it a little bit ago. I was doing a little thing for our website, and 7 of the top 11 ranked junior college baseball programs in America are at this event.
Wow.
I mean, you're talking about, in college football terms, you're talking about Alabama, Auburn, Ohio State, Clemson. You know, you've got,
Right.
And then add your 3 best, your 3 next, the top 3, the 3 that got left out of the BCS. 7 of the top 10, 11 teams in the country in the national rankings are at this tournament. Starting with Chipola out of Florida, they're phenomenal. They've got a team that they say is very comparable to the 2010 CSN team. You have San Jacinto out of Texas. Our actual opponent is Wabash Valley out of Illinois. They won a game in the 9th inning on a suicide squeeze from a left-handed hitter. So we've got to be ready for some of the unexpected. That's not a traditional play in baseball, left-handed suicide squeeze, but they did it to move on to the World Series. So, you know, we're just really looking forward to it. It's a stacked field. And for us to represent the Western District and the Western region of the United States at this tournament is an absolute privilege and an honor.
Now, you've been in this town a very long time. You're born and raised here. You went to Chaparral High School, won a state championship there, played football at UNLV, coached at Green Valley. So you've been in this community for a very long time. Talk about this community as a baseball community and what this does, seeing a team like CSN do as well as they do, what this does to rally this community around you.
You know, it's it's a fabulous community. Like you said, I've grown up here. I was here when there was 250,000 people. I was just a little boy back then, and now there's the 2 million people, whatever our population is. It's been such a neat. It's been such a thrill to grow up here and watch this community grow. When I was in high school, graduated in '91 at Chaparral High School, there was 10 high schools. I mean, there's 30 some odd high schools now that are out there. So the opportunity to recruit within this valley is unbelievable. There's so many good players, and the two guys you mentioned, Bryce Harper and Chris Bryant, those are local products. You got Joey Gallo in there. You have Kobe Shreve in there. You've got so many different names of guys. Mike Dunn. You've got guys that have grown up and been a big part of the high school baseball scene here in town forever, and it's just something to see this community grow should give us an opportunity to get better and better and better.
And you've got quite a few on your roster.
We do. We, if you look at our roster, we actually have 19 out of 29 of our active guys. It's actually, we're down to 27. 19 out of our 27 are local kids. And whenever it comes to our scholarships, okay, we're allowed 24 scholarships by the NJCAA rules. And we only have 5 out-of-state scholarship kids. So we take a lot of pride. We put a lot of pride into 80% of our 80% of our scholarship athletes are local kids. And I'm a true believer. It's Vegas. It's a great community. It's our backyard. We're basically going there. It's Las Vegas versus some teams that are represented from all over the country,
Right.
So we take a lot of pride in this, and we're just hoping to represent this valley in a great way.
Now, you talked about the scholarships. When you first came in here, you had to kind of rebuild this program because of some sanctions and some different things that happened before you arrived. Talk about that journey. I mean, it may be a microcosm of what your season and what your postseason has looked like.
Oh, it was crazy. It was back in 2010 November, and we walked into a situation where the former coaches were here for 4 months, and there were some rules violations that happened, and the NJCAA did an investigation, and they found out that they broke a few rules, and they placed the school on probation. Those coaches were removed, and they called me and asked me if I wanted the job in November, and I had told them no. They had a chance to hire me back in July, and so Tim Chambers, who went to UNLV, called me and says, "Hey, you're crazy. You want this job?" So I wound up taking the job. But anyway, that year we had a bunch of kids that weren't our recruits, and those kids were very, very aggressive to disobey anything that you're wanting to do. It was a nightmare situation. Well, the next 2 years, Rick, we lost 10 scholarships for my real first year and 10 scholarships for the second year. So, if you do the math on that thing, by the time we got back to full strength in scholarships, it was a 4-year process. So we're now in year 6 of all that stuff. So it's basically 2 years back to full strength. We're heading to Grand Junction. We're really excited about it. But those few years were really, really tough, trying to compete against the Chipola's and San Jackson, Western Nevadas, and the CSIs, and the Salt Lakes, and the Yavapais, and Central Arizonas. Those guys were all on full functioning scholarships. And for us, it was really a battle. But it's a credit to those kids that stuck through it back then. And that I truly believe that those guys are the reason that this club is doing what they're doing today.
Have you taken an opportunity to sit back and say, gosh, look what we've been able to do, look where we are, after all of that happened to get here and then through this crazy postseason? Or are you just focused on that first game on Saturday, and you'll reflect on it when you get to the end of your run now?
We were doing an interview earlier, and after it was over, I was talking to a couple coaches about that actually, and started to reflect a little bit on how this journey has been out here since we've been here. And this team is the direct reflection of what we've had go on through this program since we've taken it over. There's been a lot of transition. There's been a lot of, there's been not really turmoil, but there's been a lot of obstacles that we've had to overcome of being, understaffed scholarship-wise and all that stuff. We don't have a rock star on this team. We don't have Bryce Harper. We don't have 2 years ago, we had Phil Bickford, who was a first rounder that struck 160 guys out his year here at CSN. We don't have those guys. What we have are a bunch of average Joes that play together, and they play together as a family. And it's amazing. It's been an amazing journey and an amazing opportunity to watch these kids grow so close together and just play for each other and play for the front of the jersey and not the back of the jersey. And that is exactly why we're going to the World Series, because we're playing as one.
Very nice. Well, the Eyes of Southern Nevada will be on CSN as they head back to the JUCO World Series again for the first time in 7 years. Coach Garetano, we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us on Sports Adrenaline, and we'll be watching, pulling for the Coyotes.
We sure will. And Nick the Kick Garetano, as he was known back in the day at UNLV, was a kicker. He was all Big West selection back in the early 90s, second leading scorer behind Mike Thomas in UNLV football history with 240 points. First teamer, really good player, solid guy, great coach, stand-up guy. So we wish CSN the best of luck. This will be fun.
And here's what I really love. I mean, obviously, what they had to come back from with the sanctions and losing 20 scholarships. But right now, the overwhelming majority, 2/3, 19 out of the 29 kids that play on that team are locals, which is excellent and says, again, well, we know where baseball is headed, and we certainly know Las Vegas has to be, if this doesn't reinforce the point, it has to be one of the hotbeds for young talent.
Of all
in
sports,
baseball.
even.
Yeah, sure.
Quick hockey update for you. Overtime.
And the
Senators
Game
and
7
Penguins are into
overtime.
I mean,
Wow.
we should have I mentioned earlier, we should have the game on over here. We got a Game 7 overtime.
We
Should
wouldn't be
beat it.
paying
Get that on
attention.
your TV and then keep us on the second
go.
screen.
Yeah,
We're
that's
okay with that.
Good idea. Boring Ottawa. I'm still rooting for boring Ottawa. That's what they call them. The media refers to them as a boring team.
Yeah, I
And
want to see the ratings.
want to see.
What are the ratings going to be?
I just want to see Ottawa play Nashville.
Yeah.
That gives all of us here in Vegas Nightland and the in the knighthood a lot of. It gives us a lot of hope here.
The only senator I remember is Radek Bonk.
Radek Bonk.
Well,
yeah.
besides Hasek.
Yeah.
Right, but
right.
Radek Bonk.
Radek Bonk was big in Ottawa. You know, after he left here, the Thunder.
Maybe he'll make an appearance with the mullet.
He should.
In
He
the,
should come
in
out.
the, in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Did you guys see? You know, we're gonna transition into
We're
some
digressing a little bit. That's
VGK
okay.
talk.
Yeah.
But did you see the fans in Nashville? There's a lot of education that has to go on before this team takes the ice here in Las Vegas. I think we're going to have some pretty intelligent fans out there, but then there's going to be fans seeing hockey for the very first time. So they had a hat trick in the game the other night in the Nashville game, and it took a while for the fans, because they changed the scoring, to give the player that, I forgot who it was, that scored the goal, his third
Yeah.
goal. It took a while for them to make that announcement in the arena, and you know, there was like no celebration for the hat trick. They cut to commercial on NBC, and when they come back, there's all these hats on the ice, like a delayed reaction. It was really funny.
That's going to be part of the. Well, I wouldn't call it a growing pain, but you know, when the Knights do get to that point, you're going to have that, right? You're going to have your hardcore group of fans, and then when this team finally is a perennial playoff contender, then it's a whole nother type of fan that's going to get involved, which I'm okay with.
Have we heard any news about a goal-scoring song? Is that going to be kept?
Are we going to bring that up?
Is that going to be kept close to the vest? I only
Oh my
bring this
gosh.
up because I believe that I used to say, obviously, my Rangers had the best celebration song.
His Rangers.
I
But,
do like it. It's really annoying. That's why I like it.
but Anaheim has Bro Hymn by Pennywise, which really fits, and this is why they need to go local. It just brings up a point here that I want to make about going local with a goal-scoring song. Pennywise is an Orange County, band, punk rock group, and the whole arena singing, the Bro Hymn. It's insane. It is really good. So we need the Killers or Imagine Dragons
Yes.
or one of our big
Oh my gosh.
bands here, and not Viva Las Vegas. That's something you play at the end of the game as you're leaving the arena.
That's so cliche.
It's cliche.
Viva
It's
Las
just
Vegas.
too cliche.
We want to stay away from cliche.
I'm
we
getting
want to make
fired
it our
up
own.
over this.
We make it
I
our
know.
own. But that, you know what, Tony, that does
tension
is,
rises in me when we talk about this
That's
because I don't
because-
want
Can we
to screw
steal?
it
Can
up.
we steal Bro Hymn? That's the best song out there.
Yeah, no, let's stay away from the Ducks. I don't
Eh,
know. Ducks.
we can steal
But
it.
that speaks again to the
Or maybe we
education
could do
of
a
the
trade.
fans as
We're
we
an
go
expansion
forward.
team. Maybe we could do some sort of a trade.
No, let's stay away from the Ducks, Tony. Everyone's not listening to this.
The big news.
Don't screw it up, Knights. That's
We don't want anything with the
I'll
Ducks.
leave it with that.
The
but please
big
don't
news
screw it up.
coming out of the knighthood this week. TV deal signed with Root Sports, part of the AT&T Sports Networks family. We've seen this happen before. I'm really happy about this. It's exciting that there's a TV deal in place. The only question I think that a lot of fans have.
It is the only question.
The big question is,
No, it's the
it's
only
not
one.
okay.
Yeah, it's the only
not
question.
available on Cox or Prism yet.
Yet.
And when Cox was notified about this big deal with Root Sports, they were like, we haven't even had discussions yet. So what happens though, right? You're the TV guy, so now Root Sports goes in there with all sorts of leverage, right? Or so they think until they get Stonewall, and there's going to be
Yeah.
some very difficult negotiations to follow, right? Am I right or wrong?
Well, I have DirecTV, so I'm going to be able to watch them no matter what. But yeah,
But
obviously
you have to have a so
they've-
you have the sports package already on
I do.
DirecTV.
Yeah.
okay.
Which
So you
doesn't
have to
help
pay
with
extra for
baseball
that.
ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do have to pay extra, obviously, for that. But I would imagine they have an idea of which direction they're going to go in as far as Cox and Root Sports are concerned. I mean, there's going to be negotiations, but they had to have an idea that they're going to be able to work together, because you have to get the entire local market involved. You can't just come in with a brand new team and 5,000 TVs are able to watch the game. There's got to be some kind of inner workings already going on, I would assume.
So their Rocky Mountain region has the Rockies already and the Utah Jazz. And do they have the Avalanche on there too?
No, I don't think so. I think it's
Okay,
just the
so
Jazz.
this will be a
Well, that's
yeah.
perfect for Foley
So
and
this
his
would
team
be-
of the Rockies, right?
Yeah, this is a brand
Take over.
extension, to the Rockies, and that is the primary goal of Bill Foley. So it's
but-
interesting.
But it's not. It really isn't that much time. We're almost in June, right? June, July,
Yeah,
August,
yeah.
September. I mean, it's 4 months to hammer out a TV contract in 4 months. That's. I'm not going to say it's necessarily like banging out a lease agreement in 2 weeks or whatever it was, but you're cutting it kind of close. I mean, AT&T is a pretty big, pretty powerful brand, so they're going to carry some cachet into any sort of negotiations that they enter into, which is good. I mean, I'm confident. It's just fans are a little worried right now, and I don't blame them. They don't know how these processes work out, so I don't blame Las Vegas for freaking out a little bit. And I from what I watched from the press conference, the Knights didn't come out and say, hey, we're diligently going to make sure that this is a go and it's a green light and everybody's going to be able to watch it. Maybe they did. Maybe I didn't catch it, but I didn't feel that warm, fuzzy feeling when I heard that Root Sports was going to take it.
Let's assume that everything does go according to plan. That is the biggest positive. The big bright spot in this whole thing is that every single game in Las Vegas, or every single Vegas Knights game, will be shown in Las Vegas on Root Sports. And again, let's assume that everything goes according to plan, all the T's get crossed, I's get dotted, and every TV in this market has Root Sports available. You're going to get a high definition, quality viewing of every single game that your brand new hockey
wait.
team is going to
Yeah,
play.
can't
The only ones that won't be on Root Sports are going to be the nationally televised ones, NBC Sports, things like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I hope it's part of the basic cable plan for Cox and for CenturyLink. But if it's not, I mean, again, we're in a new era of sports programming, guys. So I get why you would want to complain. I don't want to shell out more money, but it's moving to this pay-per-view model, essentially, right? I have the DirecTV app. I don't even have a cable subscription anymore. So I'm hoping that, AT&T owns DirecTV now. They'll add that to the package. But if I have to pay $5 more a month, I'm going to do it, even though I'm paying for season tickets already as well. So
October 10th, mark that date on your calendar. That will be the home opener for the Vegas Golden Knights. Bill Foley made that announcement at that same press conference earlier this week. It's going to be on a Tuesday night.
Yes.
And typically they play Wednesday night games the last 4 years. Ken Bolke from Simbin, thank you for giving me that information. But typically the opening night has been on a Wednesday. We might be spotlighted as the lone game on that Tuesday night, maybe national broadcast
Awesome.
coverage.
We
That'd
don't
be
know
great.
the opponent yet, but
They
let's
said it'll
take
be a
some
rival.
guesses. It's going to be a rival. It has to be a division opponent. Who do you think? I'm guessing Kings.
Ducks or the Kings?
I'm guessing Kings. I think Ducks and Coyotes are another.
yeah,
Couple of good
I
viable
wouldn't pick
options
up
there.
unless it's the Stanley Cup champs, whoever comes out and wins it.
Yeah,
even if it
be a
is
good one.
Ottawa or Nashville.
Well, yeah, Nashville.
Go Ottawa.
Nashville's in the West, so
The Quad City Mallards of the ECHL are expected to be another affiliate, like single A.
Expected. I thought they already tweeted
Is it
it
already
out.
done?
oh, then they deleted.
I
it.
Well, they
thought-
tweeted and then deleted the tweet.
They did tweet the Mallards. It is the
Yeah.
Mallards. They
Yeah.
did tweet an affiliation agreement with the Knights. that
Well,
got
shouldn't they be?
hastily deleted.
Shouldn't they be affiliated with Anaheim, with the Ducks,
Right.
the Mallards?
Yes,
Makes
I
sense.
agree. But any affiliation right now, again, it's a step forward. So
And don't forget, the expansion draft is coming up. NHL Awards on June 21st. Matt and I went on the website tonight. The $15 tickets are gone.
They are gone.
And so there was in section like
Plenty
10,
of $100 seats left. I think.
11. Yes, there's plenty of $100 seats. And how much for the dinner on the floor?
Yeah,
But yeah, it was like $27 now. So $15. We waited. We snoozed and
We
we
messed
lost.
up.
We lost.
Hopped on that. I hope it's going to be a spectacle and the reveal again. Well, the picks will be in the day of that day, right? So I guess it's just going to be a grand reveal. I don't know how quick it'll be or how slow it'll be. I don't know production details, but
Yeah.
hopefully it's a Las Vegas
Maybe
show.
they get Shippy and
well, that's what I'm
Duke
hoping.
up
is
there
that
and
some of these
model
players
the home and
know,
away.
right? And maybe you
Yeah.
have your first 5 picks or top picks here in the Knights jersey walking out onto the stage. That would be.
Have
kinda
you
cool.
guys gone to the NHL awards before?
Yeah, I
It's a
have.
boring production.
Yeah.
It was very boring. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I went to it when it was at the Palms, over in the Pearl, in the theater.
Yeah, well,
And
it's
pretty, maybe it's better now.
the athletes have to really make it. I mean, you can produce it as much as you want, but if the speeches are boring and if I mean, it is what it is, right? So
Yeah.
hopefully we can Vegas it up a little bit more with our own team now.
On the Rebel Beat, let's talk about some UNLV news. And we earlier had the discussion about UNLV's golf team. They will be in action tomorrow on Friday in the NC2A Championships at the Rich Harvest Farms in Sugar Grove,
Yes.
Illinois.
Glad you take the notes, Tony.
Yeah, once in a while I do. I scribble that one out. So best of luck to Dwayne Knight and the UNLV Golfin' Rebels.
Seeded 12th or 13th. I think it was out of the 30-team field. They're in the top half, so they do have a nice seeding. So
Yeah.
We saw something on social media early today from UNLV football, and maybe we could put that up on the screen. It was there you go, coming soon.
Look at that.
Our new home,
Beautiful.
future home of Fertitta Football Complex. Is this? Did I read into this too much? Because Rick Strasser has been telling us he's heard like somewhere in June they will make the formal announcement and get things started on the football complex there at UNLV.
well, I see the blown up version of this photo now. So I see that I guess that's the first step of construction. They put the sign in at the practice facility. So does that count? Did they break ground?
I think so. They might
Yeah.
be
Maybe
giving
there's
us
a ceremony
no
at some
shovels
point.
There's
yet,
got to be.
but-
Yeah.
They
There's got to be. I
They did
think.
literally break ground.
I think
so
it's a teaser, right?
construction's underway.
Yeah, that this is going to be happening soon, and hopefully within the next week, maybe we'll have a press conference that we can cover and give you the latest
I
news
will
there.
pull up, and I accidentally. This was just coincidental. I did, plug. Sorry, I'm looking at that. I plugged my other show. Don't zoom in on this because we don't want to. Okay, we do want to.
It's okay.
Rebel Report.
Rebel Report.
I'm on campus, is my point, and I will be keeping a close eye. And as soon as ground actually breaks, I'll make sure that we get a picture of it and tweet it out to you guys.
And we'll make sure that
Thank
you have
for
a-
the
that
hey,
you're-
cross promotion.
There you go.
here. Rebel Report. Follow us.
And make sure you go out there with a hard hat. Okay, be safe.
Just don't zoom in on the beard.
Hey,
Then
so
we're good.
it's the hockey beard, playoff beard. Will that go away at the end of the Stanley Cup playoffs?
I'm not sure. I have not determined.
But usually,
stats.
typically, when people grow a playoff beard, they're rooting for a team.
He's going to keep it until the Knights win their first one. That's
Expansion
what it is.
draft. No, it could be there until the expansion draft after we get the team announced.
Until he gets
All
a
right.
jersey.
I mean, it might be like down to here by then.
UNLV football today, the over-unders were
Oh, really?
released, and guess the UNLV total of wins. What do you think it would be?
5.5.
Yeah, that's what I
you
would
saw
say.
it?
Is
Did you see
I
it?
didn't see
It
it,
is
no.
5.5.
Yeah.
It's 5.5.
That's what just random gas. I mean, they're making progress, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you need that sixth win to get to the bowl game. First two games are going to be really instrumental if they're going to make it to
Yeah,
the bowl
I just
game,
pulled up
because
the schedule.
they'll play against Howard at home, the Bison come calling, and then the second game's on the road in that rematch against Idaho from a year ago, and that's a tough place to play in the Kibbe Dome up
Yeah.
there, and then Ohio State. But you have to win those first two. Take care of business.
You know
right?
what? And this program, and gosh, man, we've been following it for decades. It seems forever. It's just
It
you
is
always-
forever.
You always approach it, and you're like, okay, they've got to win these first two, and they always let you down, and they split it, right?
Yeah.
So they'll go 1-1, and then they've got to pick up another game somewhere. So I'm gonna say, I will say the bowl hopes hinge on those first two games. You go 2-0, they're gonna make a bowl game.
Right.
You don't, then it's a problem.
I say
right?
you have to
It's
go
gonna be an
3-1.
uphill battle.
Yeah.
3-1 to start the season,
Yeah.
because we all know Ohio State's a guaranteed loss.
Right.
So 3-1. I mean, that's Your
Well,
fourth
after
game
Ohio
is at
State-
home versus
after-
San Jose
yeah,
State.
but it's a letdown game, and then San Jose State has had the Rebels' number this season. In the past
Yeah.
couple of seasons, I should say.
which is why they need to go 3-1 there.
Yeah.
They can't come home after playing in the shoe, come home and lay an egg against San Jose
There's
State.
no
That's a
Wyoming
team
on
they
the
have to beat at
schedule,
home.
so no games if you're an over player. For
Yeah,
fans.
this is again, I'm repeating myself here, but we always say it every year. Okay, they've got to win these first 2 games, and then they have a legitimate shot. And 9 times out of 10, they've not won the 2 games,
Right.
and then they've struggled to try to play catch up. So I'll go on the record now. They win the first 2, they're going to make a bowl game.
Okay. And Todd Dewey tweeted out today that UNR, their total is 5. So
Yes.
that's going to be a big game.
And we do
on
close
November
out the
25th.
season. Yep, at UNR,
Yeah, at UNR this year.
which a bowl game could hinge on.
Yeah, that's
Get
going to be
that cannon
big.
back.
And then we're learning a little bit more about UNLV's non-conference basketball schedule. I have a couple of tips there for you.
You brought your A game today.
Yeah, you
Tony.
did. What do you got, Tony?
Well,
I'm
no,
sorry
we
if I
saw.
interrupted you too
No. So, I appreciate you interrupting me. I really do like it. I welcome it. They're playing the Mountain West Conference, Missouri Valley Conference battle this year. The Rebels will have to travel to northern Iowa. So that's the game there. That was released
For
already.
Oakman Ash, is he going to be
Ali
on that
Farouk
roster?
Manesh?
No, I think no.
Is
he's
that
gone, yeah.
that is Northern Iowa?
Yep.
That is
Yeah.
Northern
Yeah.
Iowa. Yeah, when they beat
Never
UNLV
forget it.
Farouk
on that shot.
Manesh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the final shot there in the NC2A tournament. And I am hearing that there will be games, and I can't say who because I'm sworn to secrecy.
Oh, man.
But the games against a Big Ten opponent
Okay.
and
Wisconsin?
a Pac-12
Maybe?
opponent
Okay.
are also in the
We'll
works.
take it.
So
Well, but do you? I mean, is it? I guess you'd be tipping your hand. But
Yeah,
is it,
yeah, yeah.
Are they powerhouse teams in those conferences, or are they middle of the road teams? Because I think you'd want to schedule big, but maybe somebody that you think you can beat.
they are teams from those conferences.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony. You heard it here first on Sports Adrenaline.
Breaking news.
Let's get into our final
Should we
thoughts.
tweet that stuff out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into our final thoughts. Matt, do you want to start things off?
Yeah.
Matt didn't think of his last thought.
No.
Neither did
You
I.
know what?
He's got
I-
several.
I'm not-
he has several final
Yeah.
thoughts tonight.
I was gonna go into this last week, but John and I
Right.
decided to debate
Well, I'll try to figure
McGregor
out
and
what my
Mayweather
thought is
instead.
While you do that.
The last couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of this ridiculous old school baseball mentality. This,
Good topic. I was gonna talk about that.
I'm sorry to
Wait,
step
that's
on
my
your-
final
I'm
thought.
kidding.
Take your
Just
thunder,
kidding,
but
just kidding.
this whole mentality where if you hit a home run, you're not allowed to flip your bat, or you have to run the bases within a certain amount of time. You can't take more than 30. Whatever it is, it's absolutely ridiculous. And the thing that's the worst part about it is that the retaliation is hitting a guy with a 95-mile-an-hour pitch, wherever it is, and you don't have to even hit him in the head. Wherever it is, you're now throwing a baseball at another individual because what? He took 40 seconds to get around the bases. And it all goes back to that just old school baseball mentality where you're not allowed to show any emotion. But that only comes from the hitter's side. You only see that when it's a home run because you're showing up a pitcher. How often do we see pitchers show up hitters? They strike a guy out and they're pumping fists on the mound. They make a big play, run into first, covering the bag, and get the guy out by a step, and they're going nuts over there. Why is it only one-sided when it comes to baseball, where if you hit the ball, you're not allowed to do anything, but if you're throwing the ball, the rules go out the window and you can do anything you want, which includes hitting a man with a baseball. That's one of the things about baseball. They always talk about trying to progress the game and get more fans involved and get their ratings up and all of that. Stop acting like this is the 1920s and this is the same game that your great-great-grandfather used to watch. Baseball needs to be more fun. I love Bryce Harper's take on it, the make baseball fun again thing. Stop hitting guys with a baseball because they flipped the bat. Stop hitting guys with a baseball because they took 40 seconds to go around the bases. If you're going to show a guy up when you strike him out, expect to be shown up when you give up a home run. And if you don't want to be shown up, don't give up a home run.
My final thought is, well, it's just a thought because I just thought of it just now. So earlier today, I have begun my research on the expansion draft and who the Golden Knights might select. And when you dive into this, you get on YouTube and there's dozens of videos from home bloggers to websites, like websites I've never even heard of, but all of these websites are doing a mock expansion draft for the Golden Knights, and I'm going through there, and there's even websites that will like generate protected players. So there's a lot of information out there, Las Vegas. So I'd say if you're interested in this at all, and I'm just getting to the point now where I'm interested in who this team might draft. Besides maybe the big name players, there's going to be a lot of players that nobody's ever heard of on this team. So I'm getting into it now. So there are resources out there. Just get on YouTube, and there's plenty of videos there. And I can't remember the website I was on, but it's some salary cap generator website. But it's interesting out there. So now I'm getting up to speed. Marc-Andre Fleury is actually a pretty big name that
Right.
people are talking about as being the backbone of the Knights goaltending core. And then there's the backup from the Senators, I believe, is the other guy. I can't remember his name. But it's interesting. So I'm boning up on that. So it's kind of nice we have those resources out there.
Matt was talking, and this isn't my final take, but he was talking earlier about, in his final take, on rules and rule changes in a sport. What about the rules being changed in the NFL, right? And now you can have celebrations as long as you can use the football as a prop, dance around. I'm just curious what kind of penalties are going to be drawn, in retaliation to players just going a little bit too far.
All I know is
with
Terrell
the
Owens, I think, is coming out of
celebrations.
retirement again.
Get your popcorn ready.
Get your Sharpie ready. But my final take is about Las Vegas and the Las Vegas economy. And it's such an exciting time in this town. And I know sometimes we just take this, as our final take, and we just keep beating it into the ground. But truly, this time is it's exceptional here in the history of our city. Now, I've been here, about 38 years now, and you too. You about 32, Matt. Come on, man. So no, but today some big news on the economy front. The $1.4 billion convention center upgrade was endorsed by an oversight committee. So that panel now sends it to another committee on June 1st, and then on June 13th, that's when they have the final approval, final vote. And so things are moving in the right direction there. We are getting the more convention space. So you have that, and that construction will be going on. And hopefully everything is done by 2020 when the city can have I think Rick Velada said it can have a huge celebration here. Just one terrific celebration in Las Vegas. And then earlier this week, I saw that Resorts World, the 3,000 room mega resort, is going to happen now, and the wheels are starting to take shape and everything's starting to move. And so that's going to happen, and we're going to have that construction going on, convention center, and then the Raiders Stadium. Boy, it's a great time, and let's get Las Vegas and everyone working. And I think what's going to happen, my own personal opinion, is as all of these projects take shape, I think we're going to see the outskirts, the suburbs, really start to blossom again, like we saw before with the housing boom and all that. Just watch what happens. And the one thing that I always stress is we really need to build up these strip malls outside of the strip. So it's headed in the right direction. Despite all the skeptics, we're going to keep shouting them out and blowing them up on this show because they just don't make sense. That article that John read to us earlier makes absolutely no sense because they're just taking uneducated guesses about our city that we really adore. So that's my final take. What do you guys think the celebrations are going to do? Are they going to cause more controversy?
But I think whatever's being sent to the teams, there's going to be some sort of rules and stipulations, right, what you can and can't do. What I think you'll see is, how do I phrase this? Not teamwork necessarily, but team bonding. Like you're going to see a team show their personalities a little bit more. With
Did
these
anybody
group
really have a
celebrations.
problem with the bob and weave that the Rams used to do or anything like that?
No,
I mean,
no.
It's I don't
the
think
Yankee
it's
Shuffle. I mean,
yeah, I don't think
yeah.
it's that big a deal.
The Dirty Bird, that
Those
kind
were,
of
and those
stuff.
are
yeah.
they're fun. They're fun. The whole goal in football is to what? To score a touchdown.
Yeah.
let them have 30 seconds or whatever it's going to be to have fun. As long as it's not,
Not
direct
taunting.
taunting,
Yeah, not
which
taunting.
I understand that because you're going to take that personally, no matter who you are. You're going to take that kind of thing personally. So as long as it's not direct taunting and apparently no weapon pantomiming of any kind. Other than that, have fun. It's football. Have fun.
And we need to right now get the trademark for the Raiders on the dice roll with the football, so that they can only the Raiders, because they're playing in Vegas, can do the dice roll with the football.
I like that.
Great show tonight. Excellent time with the guys. John, for Matt. Austin was our producer here tonight. Rich Giacovino, our executive producer and director of our program here on shootsandgoogles.com. And our special guest tonight in studio. Thanks so much to Jody Neiman, general manager of Royal Links Golf Club, the first female general manager at a major golf course in Southern Nevada. And then Rick Strasser, who was on assignment. Hopefully he'll come back next week, sharper than ever. He was with Nick Garitano of CSN Baseball, as they are now playing this weekend in the Junior College Baseball World Series. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Thanks for watching.
Yep. Take care. We'll see you next week right here.